Well, it's time now for Lady Charmaine and girlfriends, and I got some girlfriends joining me in the girls club. I want to introduce to you my girl, Miss Shari Wilson. She actually owns 2 beauty salons. She is a dream girl in her own right. They're entitled Dream Girls Hair Imports, and she is the African-American owner of the first black-owned cosmetology school here in Sacramento, California. And then I got my girl, she's a pistol-packing petite beauty over there. She goes by the name of Wendy Jones Johnson, and just walking in, my girl, Miss Constance Cooper. She's authored umpteen books, but she's my girl. But last but not least, I got somebody very special joining me in the girls club today. He is known as the reality show king, as we call him the king of reality TV. You may know my friend by the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of New Jersey. How about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Let's throw in I Dream of Nene. And how about Candy Burris and her wedding to Mr. Todd Tucker? He goes by the name of Carlos King. Welcome, Carlos.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Lady Charmaine live show. Of course, you know, you was on the show like 2 weeks ago on my other station, but I'm so glad to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me back.
Well, good. I had such a good time with you. I had to bring you on back, my friend. And I want the audience to really get to know who Carlos King is because you do a lot of reality shows and, you get mixed reviews. People call it, ratchet TV, which, it's one of my guilty pleasures. So don't hate on me, y'all. Don't call me and don't text me. Yes, I love his shows. So, and
exactly.
I love it. But I wanted to talk to you about that because many people don't even know how your career actually began in Hollywood. So kind of take us back a little bit to even why you even had a desire to go into television.
Yeah, so for me, my television desire started years ago when I was, a kid who was just enamored with watching hours of television, while my siblings and friends were outside playing, sports or doing whatever after school. I was at home watching TV. So TV has been a part of my life forever. So it was a natural progression for me to have a career in television. So for me, it was leaving Detroit, going to New York, interning at The View in 2020 and working my way up. And I got a job at BET. And from there, I started working for Atlanta Housewives, its first season. And the rest is history, just in terms of me being able to be part of that show for going on 9 years. Mm-hmm. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And, such a blessing to be on such a successful show since the inception.
Now, how did you even branch off into Real Housewives of New Jersey? And then you just kept on going and go. You like the Energizer battery. You just keep on going.
I keep on going. I'm nonstop. These batteries are fully charged. I completed the first season of Atlanta Housewives, and I had a break after that. And I was approached to do Jersey Housewives. At that time, I was living in New York. So it was a no-brainer for me, leaving Atlanta once the Real Housewives of Atlanta wrapped. I went back home to New York. I want to say a month later, I got a call about Jersey Housewives. It was the perfect timing. So I decided to just do the show. I figured I did Atlanta. That show's going to be a hit, I hope. And it was, obviously. So I wanted to bring my talents to Jersey. And it was a fun experience working on Jersey for 2 seasons and having, great relationships with Teresa and Caroline and Jacqueline and Dina and Danielle, and just having fun working with a completely different cast than Atlanta. So it just goes to show that, you're able to really work on a diverse show as long as you're able to really produce great stories.
So, I want to talk to you about, this big old pink elephant that's in the room, because people know, as they call it, the ratchetness to fighting. We know about what happened with Kenya and Portia. When you actually start to cast your show, what do you look for? Do you look for a particular person that can be a little bit catty, that can kind of keep up the drama on the show, that can possibly escalate? So in your mind, when you're casting for a show, what are you looking for?
Well, for me, and I can only speak for myself, I look for people who have obviously great personality, because that's what we want to see on TV. Mm-hmm. Great story, because it's one thing to just be catty, but if you don't have any layers to your personal life, it gets real redundant and old. So listen, to be completely honest, nobody wants to watch a show with someone who doesn't know how to, like we like to call it, read and, throw shade and all that.
Like I said last time, boring.
Yeah, nobody wants, listen, if you don't know how to throw shade or read, then get off reality TV.
Okay.
But we're not looking for, again, I'll say myself, I'm not looking for anybody who is violent, if that's where you're getting at. I have no desire to showcase violence. I don't work on Total Divas. I don't work on WWF or WWE, so that's not my angle. I'm always looking for a woman who knows herself, or a guy who knows himself and who has a great story, who, listen, catty is always good, but it doesn't mean that catty people always escalate to violence.
Right.
That's a separate characteristic that people have.
Now, Wendy has a question for you.
Okay.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi.
Quick question. Do you think Velvet committed suicide because it was crazy?
Wow.
I don't know why I'm laughing. No. Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I guess she did.
I don't know where to go from there.
Okay. So Wendy, do you have another question?
Well, no,
I'm afraid of the next question. I didn't take that one.
I'm just a reality TV junkie. That is my guilty pleasure, and I enjoy all of your shows, to be perfectly honest with you.
Thank you.
However,
Ooh,
however.
Look, instead of a but, it's a however.
Right.
some of the behaviors that are displayed by some of the women, I know, they have to have storyline and everything, but do you think some of them should really lay down on someone's couch and work it out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Some of the women on these shows absolutely need therapy. And if you remember season 7 of Atlanta Housewives, we had all the girls go to therapy together as a collective.
Yes.
Not everyone, I would say, is able to handle pain the same way. So for sure, I think a lot of people who are on reality TV, they do need a medical attention to some of their problems, and that's something that we like to follow as well. Again, I'm not saying that everybody needs it, but I think for sure there's particular people who may need more than just a talking to by a friend.
Okay.
So, Carlos, we're going to be moving on. So, how do you feel the things that you look for to really draw your audience in, to really be able to captivate that 25 to 54, to create that water cooler talk? What do you look for?
Well, again, you want to look for somebody who's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
When we are all at home after we get off of work, or after we leave the gym, or, finish the kids with their homework, we want to go into a world where we see people who are living their real life in an extraordinary way. You want to watch TV and escape from what's going on in your life. So that's the whole purpose of television, whether it's scripted or unscripted. You still want to be able to escape at least for an hour or two, hopefully 3, just in terms of seeing people on TV that entertain you. So we're always looking for people who are entertaining, and that just comes in various forms of fashion. The beauty of television is everybody has the power to turn off the show that doesn't fully represent where they are in their particular lives. But to say, oh, I love your show, but I don't like what I'm seeing, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, then you have the power to politely touch the remote control.
Yes.
Hit channel 7 and watch something else. So yeah, that's the beauty of being in the United States. You have the freedom of that.
Yeah, so Connie has a question for you.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Connie, how are you?
I am wonderful. So my question is, or rather my statement and combined question. Okay, the shade and with Nene and Candy. Yeah, that's number one. And then Portia, is she getting like, what is it, abuse counseling, domestic violence? What kind of abuse is she doing? Because she beating up people on reality shows.
You mean Portia?
Yeah, Portia.
Oh, Portia.
Portia.
She said she was getting counseling. She admitted to anger management.
Yeah, anger management.
Yeah, she's
that's
getting
it.
that. She's getting the help she needs.
Yeah, because baby girl had some anger issues. But I just saw something the other day about Candy, and I thought, well, for my thing was she promoting like the weight loss pill, or was it like just like real drama? Because I couldn't tell. Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, because I'm just like, because it seemed like that she was promoting the weight loss pill more so than it was drama. Because if you read the text, it kept going like, and she took this miracle pill, and then Nene was like,
Who said that?
shade. It was on Facebook, honey. I'm a Facebook social media guru, honey.
You are way more in tune than I
Yes.
I don't like that.
Nene was throwing shade about Candy losing weight, and Candy was like, girl, ain't nobody worrying about you, Nene. And so that's what the topic was.
Recently?
Yes, that was today, actually, this morning. I just saw that.
I'm girl.
We got to go Google that at the break.
I'm gonna have to go on. I'm gonna go on Instagram.
Yes. So speaking of that, we're gonna go to a break, and so we're gonna get to Googling. We're gonna let our fingers walk through the GOOL. What's your GLE? So we're gonna Google that real quick, and then we're gonna be right back more with Carlos King and my girlfriends. You're inside of Lady Charmaine and Girlfriends. You're inside the Girls Club. Coming up, we got Hall & Oates. She's a rich girl on 97.5 KDEE.
Don't you just love this lady?
Yeah!
It's Lady Charmaine Live.
Hello, so happy to be here.
Yeah, so Carlos, we were talking about reality shows, and then you gave us a glimpse inside of reality television in your show that just wrapped called The Next 15. Why did you decide to take the audience behind the scenes to show us how reality TV is made?
Well, for me, it was a matter of serving two purposes. One, the purpose was to really have the audience understand exactly.
But right now, we are on the line with Mr. Carlos King. He is joining us right here in the Girls Club. Thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us on the show.
For the world that. And number two, I wanted to be able to change the scope of television as it relates to reality and really just show something totally different that you guys have never seen before.
Okay, so you did that for us, and we got a chance to see what happens behind the scenes. And New York, she brought some drama to the show, and then you saw.
Yes, I love New York.
And then you brought Claudia on. Now, I want to get your professional opinion. It seemed like Claudia had a few issues with holding down jobs for more than a year. Does she have like personality conflict? She was on the Foxhole. She was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it seems like nothing tends to really stick. What's going on with her?
I think when it comes to Claudia, she's a prime example of when one door closes, another opens. And really following a woman who's on this journey. You are right. She has had success on a lot of shows, albeit, a year or two of being on the show and then moving on to something else. I don't think she has any personality conflicts when it comes to how I work with her. I think Claudia is a different kind of breed in terms of she's not a girl's girl to me. She's a guy's girl. And by her being in situations having to deal with other women, I think that always poses a challenge to her. So in terms of her situations, I think a lot of it has to do not with her personality, but I think it has to do with she's very different than most of the women she's been on TV with.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, we are on the line with Mr. Carlos King. We call him the king of reality television, Real Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey, Love and Hip Hop. If you're streaming online, and if you want to hear what's going on in the studio, all you have to do is go online to kdeefm.org if you want to hear him. But right now, Carlos, I want to switch gears because you have another show that's coming back out in July. It's Hollywood Divas that you do with Mr. Todd. I was going to say Todd Burris. Todd Tucker. With Todd Tucker. Tell us about the show and how did you and Todd come to connect to do this show?
Well, the show came about through TV One. They approached us to do a show about black actresses living in Hollywood due to my large success on shows dealing with women. So long story short, we were paid to cast the show, and I interviewed over 75 actresses to be on the show, and I selected, along with TV One, who we thought were the best of the best. So that's how the show came about. And this upcoming season that airs in July, we have Malika Hawk from the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian's best friend. She's a new diva, so we're excited to showcase her skill set to the world. And again, when you talk about a woman who you haven't seen around other types of women, Malika is just that. A lot of people only know her for being Khloe's best friend, so I was happy enough to meet with her and give her this opportunity, not only to remind people that A, she's an actress, but B, really showcase her with her, her sister. Seeing her around her peers, other black actresses. So it was definitely a joy to work with her, and I'm so excited to see how Malika joins the cast. And let's just say she kind of butted heads with a cast member. So stay tuned for that.
Now, how does it make you feel, though, Carlos, to know that you give so many people a great opportunity, like the Nenes, that nobody knew who she was, and then you got Kim, and now she has her show, Don't Be Tardy, that you produced. What does that make you feel like as a producer to know that you've given people, a better lifestyle, actually?
Yeah, no, it brings me joy. It's how I'm able to wake up every day and continue to create and develop shows. In the midst of the negative feedback that I get from, oh my gosh, all you do is show black women art. I always rest knowing that I'm able to provide a platform for women of all races to really have a career outside of the reality show. I'm not here to exploit anyone. I'm not here to defame anyone's name. I really am here to provide opportunities for men and women to really have a success outside of the shows I cast them on. So when I see Nene on Fashion Police or on television shows and on the cover of magazines, it makes me smile to see that, here it is, she and I started the Real Housewives of Atlanta together, and to see the success that she's made, she's my pride and joy, just in terms of really seeing how a black woman was able to transcend outside of reality and show the world that she's to be reckoned with.
I know that's right. Well, Connie has a question for you, Carlos.
Oh, Connie.
Yes, Connie, that would be me. It's so funny.
Connie.
It's funny that you brought that up about how you change people's lifestyles, because I was just having this discussion with my boo. And I was saying,
your new boo.
My new boo, the one and only.
I know that's right.
Hey.
And I was just telling him, I was like, babe, I said, we're going to get us a reality TV show now. All jokes aside, I was like, because you know what? All it takes is for you to get on TV one time. I said, did you notice how everybody who gets on reality TV starts a business and it becomes successful? Case in point, look at the hip hop thing, the hip hop.
Love and Hip Hop?
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, that's him.
And then if you look at all the other shows, Black Ink and all those other shows, if you look at it, they take that episode or those episodes of chaos and confusion, but they build a business and a brand behind that. And I was just looking at how, Carly Rae, she got her own business now, and I was telling my honey,
Rashida, she got
Rashida was already in the mix.
Doing excellent.
Yes.
Rashida was already doing like clothing and jewelry and stuff on her own, so it just helped her promote even better, and I told him, I was like, babe, all it takes is for you to get one foot in the door, and once you get your foot in the door, the rest is history. You just got to be what you just said.
It's what you do when you get through that door.
But
when the opportunity presents itself, you got to know what to do when you get in there, honey. You got to work that thing, honey.
Okay, but you got to have a business to promote too. You can't just be coming up with no random ideas.
Said at what cost?
Well,
Yes, no,
they was looking at me and my sister a few times. We did 2 different reality shows where they came in, they filmed us for a whole week, and they wanted us to act a fool. So the thing is, at what cost?
Right.
At what cost do you do I punch my sister in the face because the producer is telling me that's what is going to put me on the air?
Right.
So again, like I said, the opportunity came to us twice,
Right.
and both times, we was thinking like, okay, we could still this positive black sister,
Girl, they don't want no positivity, girl.
They don't want that.
They don't want that. They want us to punch, fight, hit.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I think
Oh no, they want all that.
Oh Lord.
And
Yeah, I
we was
think the
refusing to do
operative
that.
Yeah, I think the operative word is they.
Drama.
It's that particular company and producers who wanted you to do that. And if you talk to anybody who has worked with me, especially my company, Kingdom Reign, I have a conversation with my cast on the shows that my company produces, and I tell them first and foremost, you're not going to touch each other. So I just
right.
think
That's good.
I think it's a matter of, unfortunately, there are producers, just to be very honest, there are producers who want that because they think that's what the audience wants to see. And listen, I'm not going to lie, some audiences do want to see that, which is why a lot of those shows are number one. But I also think it's a matter of balancing. My favorite show, honestly, is the Braxtons. Of the shows that I produce.
Because you got my show. That's my show. I just lost it.
I love the Braxtons because they're funny and
Right.
their drama is, you could tell it's real.
And it's organic.
family.
Yeah.
It's
When I was talking about that
organic.
before, exactly. Because remember, because I had the same conversation with Carlos, because I've been approached actually by two, but one gentleman, as I told Carlos before, really hurt my feelings because he told me because I was African American, they expect us in Hollywood to be loud, brash, and throw a glass. And I told him I wasn't willing to do that. So he asked me to find people that would be willing to do that, and I wasn't willing to do that. And although the show is still on the table, if I want it, but to be able to walk away and say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because-
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Can I ask you this? Is the show he approached you for, is it on TV?
No, he wanted to do a
And it
show
won't
about
be.
me. I was approached by two people that had been following me, and they both wanted to do a show on me. And this gentleman found out about me through someone else that has a show. And so so this was going to be a show about me and my life. But
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, nobody wants that. Listen, if you guys really, 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 really think about it, there's only one show on the air that has women fighting every week. Like, there's so many other shows that don't depict that. Like, if you really think about what you're watching, it's not more than, I would say, listen, I'll give it two, although I can only think of one. It's not more than one show on TV with black women where every week there's a glass being thrown or there's a punch. So I really do, I can tell you honestly that networks aren't asking for that. I pitch shows every week, and no one says to Carlos King, this show is boring. Can these girls fight each other? Like, that's not a real conversation.
Okay.
And that's the
That's good
biggest
to know.
misconception that people have. The networks do not want shows that has that. There's already one that's on the air, and that's fine. But we want a balance.
yes, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, when we come back, we're going to get into some hot topics. I'm so glad you're going to be joining us because since you are the king of girlfriends, you know how to put these sisters together now.
I love that.
So we're going to be getting into some girlfriend stuff and some relationship stuff. So I want to make sure that you stay on the line because we have more with Mr. Carlos King and Lady Charmaine and Girlfriends. You're inside the Girls Club on 97.5 KDEE.